I want to hear a little bit more about comedywithak.io, and I'd love if you share a bit more about it with a twist. We're going to play this game called Pitch Sneak. And basically, I'm going to have this random word generator, which I'll share with you when I share my screen. And you have to sneak these words into your pitch as you're talking about the company. And every time you use one of the words, then I'll ring it to the next one. And I may ask you some questions using these words as well. So basically, every time a word is used, we move on to the next one. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see the random word generator?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you see that it says sit right here?
Ooh, okay.
All right, so that's going to be where the random word is going to show up. We're going to start with whatever the next one is, and that will be our first word that you have to use in your pitch. So, comedy.io team, Stephanie and Ben, tell me a bit about your company as if I were a fool and didn't know anything about it.
You know, you'd have to be a fool if you didn't understand how humor could just make people happy. So we took that same concept and introduced it into a marketing perspective, where if you can get people to connect with your business and make them laugh at the same time, then you can also appeal to the crowd. Do I go with each word? Can I
Yeah,
just keep going?
yeah, and maybe
Oh,
Stephanie wants to chime in and take a word too and try to incorporate it into the pitch. I mean, it's not don't make it seem like difficult like a test or anything. It's not a test. It's just
oh yeah. Okay, I see. I thought we were stopping in between, but I see. We're just gonna keep going.
yeah, just keep going with it.
Do you want to take a stab, Stephanie?
Um, let me see. Tourist. That's pretty out there. Let me think. So, tourists, you might think of tourists. You might think, oh my God, I have nothing with tourists. This is so out there.
Just like
Um,
think of it as like, maybe if you're talking about your business as you would, and you just happen to sneak in these words, right? So you think, most people that go to comedy shows are people that maybe live in the town. They could be tourists from visiting from out of town. And comedy with a K.io is bringing comedy and comedians into their business, right? And to help them with their business.
okay, so if I had to draw a diagram to demonstrate what Comedy IO is, think of it as a circle where there's creativity in there, and then a circle where there's humor. We are in that overlap between creativity and humor, where we employ comedians, professional comedy creators, to help brands become creative and humorous.
I love it. And it's comedy is a genuine interest where there's something sincere about what you're saying, and it appeals to both men and women. And it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or you're or very poor, you're wealthy, because humor can relate to a lot of different people. And when you're in tune with your message, you're able to adapt to people who are going through hell, especially like in 2020. Like, what a crazy year. So when you add humor to your message, you can hit a new peak in your brand loyalty. And that's where this observation comes in of people observing your company and being able to relate to it on a professional level and a personal level. So when people are viewing your message, they're able to just glow, and that message is able to resonate with a lot of different people. So that's one long breath.
That's amazing.
Great. I mean, it sounds almost like it's like a ministry of humor, bringing humor to the masses with bringing humor with creativity so that it's more accessible and alive for the people that are going to use it, and that way people aren't duking it out. They're like laughing together and connecting with one another, whether they're a patent attorney or an engineer or a teacher or a nurse, tall person, short person, in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere. Anyone can connect with comedy. I mean, you can imagine the world will just be so much more joyful and connected and kind to one another.
I love it.
And scene. All right.
Oh my gosh, I could play that game forever.
Isn't that fun?
That was a lot of fun. You guys are so awesome at this.
I mean, I've played a lot, so Ben was like just slipping them in there. It was really
seriously.
I've never played. I love it though. I was like, oh my gosh, if I didn't have to breathe right now, it'd just keep going.